In 1999, a unique special film was released, and fans of this franchise and trilogy have been waiting for this movie for a long, long time. And the name of this movie is Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. And we're going to talk about this movie on the other side. See you there. Hello, welcome to Showtime, and thank you for joining me. And today we're going to talk about Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. And when this movie was released, I was in London, England, and I had a friend of mine from Switzerland who was staying with me and my family. And we travelled to Stratford, East London, to a cinema to watch this movie when it came out. And I remember I was on the Underground, and I was travelling from Leytonstone to Stratford. And it's more or less 10-minute journey. But I was so tense, I was so excited. I remember I was on the train and I just couldn't stop saying to my friend at the time, I can't wait to see this movie, I can't wait to see this movie. And it was such a privilege, it was my first Star Wars, well, my mother took me to see A New Hope, but I remember being there, but not actually all the details. So this was the first movie, that Star Wars movie I was going to see. And I was so excited, you know, that I was going to see, that I was going to pay for, and I was taking myself to see it. So I just loved this movie. I loved the experience of being there and watching this movie and being a part of history, because it was never clear if we were going to get these prequels, or if there was going to be any other movies. So I just enjoyed the movie, and I couldn't stop talking about it after we returned home on the train. Even Jar Jar Binks didn't annoy me. I just love to see these characters and new characters that I fell in love with as a child, and getting the opportunity to see one of these movies as an adult. So there was Ian McGregor. I already knew this actor, and Liam Neeson. I didn't know him very well. It was the first time I've ever seen him in my life. And Natalie Portman, I had seen her already in different movies. One of those movies was Leon, and she was quite young in that movie. And I liked the way she was acting from, you know, she must have been maybe 12 in that movie. And she really showed that she had talent. She was a talented young actress. So now looking back, and I've watched Star Wars: Phantom Menace so many times, I still find it a privilege to watch this movie. But now dissecting the movie, I can see many flaws in this movie. And one of the flaws also, and I remember watching it in the theatre, in the cinema, and I was thinking, well, Jedi Knights never did that before. Was a Jedi Knights running very, very fast and melting the blast door with the lightsaber. And I thought to myself, why didn't they ever do that before? If this is a prequel, why didn't we see them doing that in the original trilogy? But I didn't care at that moment. I was just in my euphoria, enjoying the moment. But I felt, looking on it now, I believe that was a mistake. It should have been an evolution. There's always an evolution. And I think many writers and directors, when they do prequels, they really have to pay attention to that. I'm really disappointed because George Lucas directed the movie and wrote the movie, so he knows the structure, he knows the story, the history. He cannot get it wrong, but he did get it wrong. He's a blessed guy. He had that vision from the 70s of these epic characters that now we're in 2015. There's not many franchises that last that long. So I've got to give him credit and respect for giving us this brilliant gift. But for me, A Phantom Menace is a letdown. And one of them was Jar Jar Binks. Why is it necessary to have some cute, bubbly creature? Was that for the kids? I just never liked. It was unnecessary to have this character in the movie, in my opinion. Maybe there's some people out there that really like Jar Jar Binks. I haven't met anyone that likes this character, but you never know. Maybe one day I will. But and also looking at the movie now, the effects don't stand up. They don't. There's movies like Terminator 2 that still look good today, and the original trilogy, especially New Hope. You've got to stick with practical effects. If you cannot put it off with special effects, just leave it alone. Just go with practical effects like in the beginning. And I think George Lucas had enough time before starting the prequels to understand that practical effects last a lot longer. So when I first saw this movie, I would have given this movie a 10 out of 10 because I was so hyped up and I was sweating, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's many of you guys out there that when you managed to watch The Phantom Menace, you was just in your wonderland, you know, right there. And yeah, I would have given it a 10 out of 10. But now looking at it, and it's painful to give this, to review this movie and how much I love Star Wars, but I gotta be honest that I would give this movie a 5 out of 10, because it could have been so much better. George Lucas could have given, if he just fought just a little bit more, and the guy's a genius. So I'm expecting something better from him. He is a genius. So it has to have a 5. And guys, I will try and review all 6 of the Star Wars movies before the 18th of December. I'm going to set myself a challenge, and I'm going to try and do 1 or 2 or 3 a week if I can manage it before Episode 7 comes out. I'm going to try and do this. So guys, thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for supporting me. You guys are great. Thank you for your messages, your personal messages, and your emails. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and see you soon on Showtime, and let's talk about movies. Bye-bye.